Good morning. I'm Riccardo Bascone, an oil painter from Palermo, Italy. Today, I'm excited to share a special project with you. I'll be showing you how I brought new life to an old canvas with a beautiful frame. This painting from the 80s was a gift from my grandfather to my parents when I was a child. I don't usually reuse old canvases, but some framed paintings have been gathering dust at home, and it feels like a waste. Oh, and by the way, here are some of my little adventure buddies. My cats, who used to live on the streets and are now part of the family. Anyway, I wanted to breathe new life into this canvas by painting something of my own on it, without taking anything away from the original work or the artist, whose last name was Perricone. The painting I'm about to work on has one of the most beautiful frames I own. Of course, I always protect them from dust using black bags. I've actually been thinking about reusing this particular painting for years, so here we are. But before showing you my work, I want to pay a small tribute to my grandfather by sharing some of his own creations with you. It's like taking a small step back in time. He loved creating traditional Sicilian paintings, though he mostly worked with wood and metal, occasionally trying his hand at painting. Here are some of the frames and bas-reliefs he carved. The characters often feature epic heroes like Orlando and Rinaldo, mythological scenes, Christian Saracen battles, and other episodes from Sicilian culture, with vivid, lively and engaging images of ladies, knights, saints, kings, and dragons. And this is a paladin, Orlando, a traditional Sicilian puppet still used in performances here in Sicily for those lucky enough to catch one. And yes, this one was made entirely by my grandfather. I also remember he used to work on these pieces in his garage studio, locking himself in for hours and hours. And here's a photo of him from many years ago. He was a truly passionate craftsman. Maybe that's where my love for art comes from. But let's get back to the frame. I want to point out that my grandfather only assembled it. He did, however, build the stretcher entirely. It might look like a single frame, but it's actually two frames joined together, both intricately worked. Of course, the ornate parts and wood, they're probably resin, and as you can see, there are some small chipped areas. I decided to entrust the restoration of the frame to an expert because I wanted this important part of the artwork to be properly taken care of. But of course, I'm not talking about a full restoration, just some minor touch-ups. I wanted the frame to keep its age and its story. I actually find it beautiful just the way it is, with its gold and silver leaf details, even if they have faded a little over time. And before we move on, I'll show you the pine forest where I took the photo that inspired my painting, and a glimpse of Palermo, the city I live in and love. I really enjoyed filming the next part of this video, and I hope you won't get bored. So, see you in a bit. Welcome back, friends! So, first off, I'm using a staple remover to pull out all the staples from the back, and trust me, there are a lot. But with a bit of patience, it's totally doable. I also had to take off the hanging hook here, since it was stuck between the cardboard and the frame, but I'll be adding a new one later. And here we are. It looks like a pincushion. My grandpa clearly thought all those staples were necessary, and I'll do the same, just with fewer. I have to say, my grandpa fastened the canvas to the frame really well. These thin strips of cardboard have held up for almost 40 years. Honestly, if it weren't for me, they probably would have lasted many more years. Here I removed small pieces of staples stuck in the wood, making sure I didn't miss any. And finally, I can remove the canvas, and I have to say, it's still in great condition. That's exactly why I'll reuse it. There were also some marks along the edges, probably from the frame's original paint and silver leaf. And I love these little color smudges on the edges. Here I thought it would be a good idea to gently sand down a few areas where the paint was thick, otherwise it would have bothered me to paint over them. You know, I want the surface to be as smooth and even as possible, but of course I don't want to go too far and damage the canvas. After dusting, I gently wiped the surface with gauze and a bit of non-toxic odorless solvent, just to remove as much old varnish as I can. Next, I take out the wedges so I can reinforce the corners of the canvas before putting them back in. Normally, I prime new canvases 2 or 3 times, even if they come pre-primed. But in this case, I'm not taking any chances. I'm applying 5 coats of gesso, since I'll be painting over an existing piece and want the new paint to stick properly. And finally, time to paint. Honestly, I don't usually like to talk too much about the meaning behind my paintings, so I won't dive too deep here. I like to believe a painting can speak for itself, without needing any explanations. Sometimes, people even find meanings the artist never meant to put there. And that's the magic of art. It's so personal and open to interpretation. That said, even if I'm not going to dwell too much on the message, I want to share a bit of what I intended and what inspired me to create this piece. First of all, I chose the female figure as the main subject, mostly because I find it aesthetically pleasing, with its generally softer and more flowing features. But it's not just about outer beauty. For me, it's mostly about what the female figure tends to represent. And of course, this doesn't take anything away from the other gender. With the theme of the painting in mind, I wanted to combine not only the subject's outer beauty with the stunning nature around her, but also try to evoke certain qualities shared by both the woman and nature itself. Typically, a woman is also a mother, and therefore protective. She embodies feminine energy, which is also creative power, traits she shares with nature. This connection was very meaningful to me while working on this piece, blending the two subjects, the figure and the pine forest, into almost one. So, without going on too much, I wanted to convey certain feelings and meanings, the very ones I experienced when I took the reference photo in that beautiful place, and I tried to pour them into the painting through brush strokes and colors, hoping I managed to capture them. So, what inspired me to create this piece? Personally, I truly love nature, but honestly, who shouldn't? It's our home after all. That's why I wanted a background that could truly reflect the qualities I just mentioned. And of course, I deeply love art too. I believe it's an incredible tool, not just to communicate something, but also to remind us how much we need it in all its forms. So I tried to combine the two, nature and art. And since I have a strong passion for figurative art, I wanted to express something on canvas that might, in some way, remind us that life in all its forms, with no distinctions, is already beautiful and balanced just as it is. And for the reason alone, I believe it's always worth respecting and protecting. And that's it. I hope this little creative journey inspired you, even just a little, and maybe made you want to bring something forgotten back to life. Because forgotten doesn't mean worthless. I'll leave you with the rest of the video, and if you enjoyed it, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever given new life to an old object? Oh, and at the very end, I'll reveal the title I chose for this painting. Just one word. Also, since English isn't my first language, as you might have noticed, I used some words I didn't know yet, just to better express certain ideas and to keep learning a language I truly enjoy. And I hope to get better with each video. So, see you soon! Ciao!